before I finish this video, I will share a dream that the Lord gave. I dreamt that I was a mother of a young child. He was about 9 or 10 years old, the sweetest little boy that you could ever imagine. And I was the mother of a much older child, 21 years old. My 21-year-old was extremely narcissistic, caught up in the online Facebook affirmation, Instagram, catch me on Snapchat and all the chats lifestyle. He was a very handsome young man, tall and a good-looking boy. He loved himself, and he had picked up this habit of taking selfies and wanting to see himself in the camera from a young age. And even though his father and I had discouraged him, this boy had never let that go. And when he grew up, he was always posting his workout pictures, not nude, but flexing his muscles and basically just showing off his good side. And his friends would come and fawn and say how good looking he was. The younger one was such a sweet and obedient child, and he was still at that age where boys will sit on their mother's lap and let her cover his face with kisses. And then my younger son died. It was terrible in our community. My younger son died, and I remember at his funeral, everyone was speechless. The pastor was choking to get the sermon out. He was trying to say those few words like, the Lord gives and the Lord takes away, but I could see the pastor was struggling with why such a good baby died. And the older boy was not at the funeral. His father and I could not get a hold of him, and he did not even know that his younger brother had died. And so after the funeral, some fear seized me, and I could not even go to join that line where they tell you, "We're so sorry, so sorry." I left the father to handle that, and I ran home and I changed. I kept my black on, but I put sneakers on, and I went running out into the city to find my son. And it seemed so strange. That double sky that I'm always talking about was in this dream. It was a brilliantly sunny day, crisp and cold. My son had died in autumn. And I was running through the streets so desperate that I was asking strangers, "Have you seen this boy?" And I was showing my child. The sky was crisp and sunny, and yet at the same time, I saw what I call the end times sky. The dark, thick, heavy, black sky that goes, if that sky could make a sound, it would go doom, just doom. That sky was present, showing that there was very little time left for all sorts. And as I came around this street corner, I saw a crowd gathered, and everyone was like, oh my God, oh. And everyone was gathered. And I pushed through with this horrible feeling, knowing it was my child. And there was my child. He had fallen half in and half out of some kind of very big gutter. I don't even know that they have these gutters in cities. It was a very big V-shaped gutter, and his body was all half in and half out. He had fallen into basically something like an open city sewer. And I froze, and everybody was quiet when they realized that I was this boy's mother. And I said, did you see how he died? I was so calm. I was like, how did he die? Did someone push him? Did he fall and break his neck? Did someone hurt my child? Please tell me. Don't be afraid. Tell me how he died. And people were silent and staring at me. And then an old man standing at the back, he said, I saw him. Something struck him, miss. He said, I saw him. He was doing this. And the man made the motion of this generation's lifetime pastime. The all-important God of this selfie. Men will be lovers of themselves in the last days. The old man lifted his hand and said, he was doing this, and I saw him taking them, and something struck him, ma'am, and he fell into that gutter. And I think that's how he broke his neck. And then I realized that I was living in the times where God will take the sweet children, the good children, the children that are not doing any harm. He will bring them to himself to keep them safe. But the idolaters, that was the first time that God actually spoke to me about what Facebook is. That Facebook is a place, he said, where people build up altars and then sacrifice to the gods. And I said, Lord, who are the gods? And he said, Celestial, themselves. They build up altars and then they worship at their own altars, and they invite their friends to come over with likes and hearts and thoughts, and I love this. And then they worship at one another's altars and go and visit the other person's altar. You may disagree, of course. As God said, aren't the prophets always frustrated by the group? I don't think so. I don't feel that that's what it is. We're just keeping in touch. You're not God, so of course your opinion holds null. I lost 2 sons. One very good, and one struck by God. And the Lord told me, so will it be in the last days. Both the unrighteous and the righteous will go home.